Now, we've spoken about how it affects the consumer. I want to talk about business now. If money gets paid into the wrong account or there's some kind of fraud, how does that actually affect business?
Well, obviously, when that transaction goes through and it's not a legitimate transaction, the bank will return that. It will debit against the business's account and return to the actual account holder where it's supposed to be. There are tools in place. You can use verification tools like ID verification against the Department of Home Affairs or bank account verification, where some of the banks do participate in that service. You put in the person's ID number, the consumer's ID number and his bank account number, and instantaneously you'll receive a response back from the bank saying this ID number does belong to this account holder. So those tools, yes, can be used, and it is really advisable to use them than to run a debit order against somebody's account only to find out a month later that it's actually a fraudulent transaction.
Now, you've been in the industry for a long time. What are your tips and recommendations for small business owners out there to avoid this kind of thing from happening to them?
Use verification services. Make sure that the person that signs the debit order mandate is the account holder. Give you a practical example, a ladies' gym. You might use your husband's bank account and sign the debit order mandate.
Right.
Although you might have signing power on his account, if there's a dispute, he can go to the bank and say, I never signed there. It's not my signature on the piece of paper. So when you do sign it or receive a debit order mandate, make sure that the account holder actually gave you the permission to debit his or her bank account. And then keep records. The law states that you've got to keep them for 5 years. Our facilities at SagePay allows you to upload the debit order mandate onto the file. So if the bank queries it, we can immediately supply the bank with a mandate that was supplied.
Wow. Now, are there any other kinds of verification processes?
There's the ID verification, there's a bank account verification. Those are the two most important ones to use in terms of debit order mandates.
How do they work?
It's an online system.
Okay.
So you type in the person's ID number, you type in their bank account number, and it'll come back with a match from the banking system.
Now, do you expect debit order fraud occurrences, do you expect the occurrences to continue rising?
It's a very difficult question to answer. There are, as I mentioned earlier, things in place from POSA where they want to try and verify and authenticate debit orders. As the population grows and as business transactions grow, fraud also will increase.
Yeah. Do you think something needs to change in the way that the banks handle debit orders?
I don't think something needs to change in the way the banks need to handle debit orders. I think the consumers need to be more aware of what's happening on their bank statements.
And is it a matter of education, or do we just need to open our bank accounts a little bit more?
I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
The banks need to educate their clients in terms of what their clients' rights are. That you've got 40 days to dispute any unauthorized debit off your bank account. A lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know that.
And then secondly, the consumers need to be more vigilant with their bank accounts and look what's going on. Small business as well. There's a lot of big business out there that do thousands of transactions on their bank account. It's not to say that you can only check it once a month then. You need to, big business, check your bank account on a daily basis and reconcile the transactions.